The war in Ukraine has raged for nearly 3 years, casting a long shadow over the world. Millions have been displaced, cities lie in ruins, and the daily lives of countless individuals have been shattered. The conflict has not only devastated the nation but has also sent ripples across the globe, affecting international relations and economies. The specter of nuclear escalation has haunted global politics, with fears of a broader conflict looming large. The international community has been on edge, with leaders constantly navigating the delicate balance of power to prevent a catastrophic escalation. Yet, amidst the devastation, a flicker of hope has emerged. Stories of resilience and bravery have surfaced, showing the indomitable spirit of the Ukrainian people. Humanitarian aid has poured in, and communities have come together to support one another in these trying times. Recent diplomatic efforts, though fragile, offer a glimmer of possibility, a chance for peace to take root. High-level negotiations have seen diplomats from various nations come together, striving to find common ground and a path forward. The path to peace is fraught with challenges. The scars of war run deep, and rebuilding trust will take time and effort. The physical and emotional toll on the population is immense, and the journey towards healing is long. Deep mistrust between the warring parties, conflicting interests, and the volatile nature of the conflict itself pose significant hurdles. Each side has its own demands and grievances, making the negotiation process complex and delicate. Sporadic fighting continues to erupt, undermining efforts to establish a lasting ceasefire. The presence of armed groups and the constant threat of violence make the situation precarious. The road ahead is long and arduous, demanding unwavering commitment from all involved. Peace activists and international diplomats work tirelessly, often behind the scenes, to keep the dialogue open and constructive. Despite the obstacles, the pursuit of peace remains paramount. The Ukrainian people, along with the global community, hold on to hope, participating in peace demonstrations and advocating for a resolution. The human cost of war is immeasurable, with countless lives lost and families torn apart. Hospitals in conflict zones struggle to cope with the influx of casualties, and the grief of those left behind is profound. The global community yearns for a return to stability. United Nations meetings and international support efforts highlight the world's commitment to finding a peaceful solution. Global leaders continue to discuss and strategize ways to bring an end to the conflict. The latest developments, while not guaranteeing success, represent a crucial step in the right direction. Each round of talks brings new hope, and the progress made, however small, is a testament to the dedication of those involved. The world watches with bated breath, daring to hope that this glimmer of possibility may yet blossom into a lasting peace. The journey is far from over, but the collective will for peace remains strong, and the dream of a peaceful Ukraine endures. February 13, 2025 marked a significant day in the ongoing search for peace in Ukraine. This date will be remembered as a pivotal moment in the efforts to bring an end to the prolonged conflict that has caused immense suffering and instability in the region. High-level diplomatic talks took place in Geneva, Switzerland, bringing together key players in the conflict. The picturesque city of Geneva, known for its history of diplomacy, served as the backdrop for these crucial discussions. Representatives from Russia, Ukraine, the United States, and the European Union engaged in intense negotiations, seeking common ground to end the bloodshed. These representatives, each with their own agendas and concerns, worked tirelessly to find a path forward. These talks, shrouded in secrecy, centered around a proposed roadmap for peace. The confidentiality of the discussions was crucial to ensure that all parties could speak freely and honestly about their positions and concerns. While the specifics remain confidential, sources suggest the discussions focused on key issues such as a ceasefire, withdrawal of troops, and the establishment of a framework for lasting peace. The withdrawal of military forces from contested areas is seen as a critical first step in de-escalating the situation, and the future status of disputed territories. The resolution of territorial disputes is one of the most contentious issues, requiring careful negotiation and compromise from all sides. The Geneva talks represent the most serious diplomatic effort since the war began. The gravity of the situation was palpable, with diplomats fully aware of the stakes involved. The mere fact that these discussions occurred with all sides present offers a glimmer of hope. The presence of all key stakeholders at the table is a positive sign that there is a genuine desire to find a resolution. However, the road to peace is long, and concrete progress remains to be seen. The journey ahead is fraught with challenges, and it will require sustained effort and goodwill from all parties involved. The international community eagerly awaits the outcome of these discussions, hoping for a breakthrough that could pave the way for a brighter future. The world watches with bated breath, hoping that this time, the efforts will lead to a lasting and meaningful peace. As the world watches the diplomatic efforts unfold, the stakes have never been higher. The global community is keenly observing every move, every statement, and every gesture made by those in power. Global leaders have been vocal in their calls for peace, urging for a resolution that can bring stability to the region. Their voices resonate across continents, echoing the collective desire for harmony. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, known for his hawkish stance, surprised many by expressing cautious optimism. His words marked a significant shift as he acknowledged the complexities of the situation. He stressed the need for a negotiated settlement, stating that a military solution alone is not viable. Hegseth emphasized that diplomacy must play a central role in resolving the conflict. British Foreign Minister David Lammy echoed these sentiments, emphasizing the importance of dialogue and compromise. He highlighted the necessity of open communication channels and mutual understanding. Lammy urged all parties to seize this opportunity to find a lasting peace that respects Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. He called for a balanced approach that considers the needs and concerns of all involved. U.S. Vice President JD Vance, a rising star in American politics, took a more cautious approach. His perspective added a layer of prudence to the discussions, reflecting the complexities of international diplomacy. While acknowledging the need for peace, he stressed the importance of holding Russia accountable for its actions and ensuring the security of Ukraine and its allies. Vance's stance underscored the delicate balance between peace and justice. These statements, while varied in tone and emphasis, reflect a growing international consensus. The time for diplomacy is now. The world watches with bated breath, hoping that these efforts will pave the way for a more peaceful and stable future. Amidst the flurry of diplomatic activity, one crucial aspect remains paramount: the role of Ukraine itself. As the country directly impacted by the conflict, Ukraine's voice and agency are critical in any peace process. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has repeatedly emphasized that any peace agreement must be based on Ukraine's terms. He has called for the complete withdrawal of Russian troops, the restoration of Ukraine's territorial integrity, and justice for the victims of the conflict. The international community has largely supported Ukraine's right to determine its own future. However, some concerns have been raised about the potential for external pressure on Ukraine to make concessions. It is essential that any peace agreement is not imposed upon Ukraine but is the result of a genuine and inclusive negotiation process where Ukraine's voice is heard and respected. While the recent diplomatic initiatives offer a glimmer of hope, the path to peace remains fragile and fraught with obstacles. Deep mistrust between Russia and Ukraine, conflicting interests, and the complex geopolitical landscape pose significant challenges. One of the most significant hurdles is the issue of territorial integrity. Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014 and its support for separatists in eastern Ukraine remain major sticking points. Finding a solution that addresses these issues while respecting Ukraine's sovereignty will be a monumental task. Another challenge is the issue of security guarantees for Ukraine. After Russia's invasion, Ukraine seeks assurances from the international community to prevent future aggression. However, providing such guarantees without escalating tensions with Russia is a delicate balancing act. Overcoming these obstacles will require unwavering commitment from all parties involved, as well as the support of the international community. Section 6. The price of war, human cost, and global impact. As the war in Ukraine grinds on, it is crucial to remember the devastating human cost. Millions have been displaced from their homes, seeking refuge in neighboring countries or within Ukraine itself. The physical destruction of cities and infrastructure is staggering. The war has also had a profound impact on the global economy. Supply chains have been disrupted, energy prices have soared, and food security has been threatened. The conflict has exacerbated existing inequalities and pushed millions into poverty. The human suffering caused by this war is a stark reminder of the urgent need for peace. The international community must prioritize diplomatic solutions and work tirelessly to alleviate the suffering of those affected by the conflict. Section 7. Beyond the battlefield, rebuilding and reconciliation. Even if a peace agreement is reached, the road to recovery will be long and challenging. Rebuilding war-torn Ukraine will require a massive international effort, both financially and logistically. Beyond the physical reconstruction, healing the wounds of war will be equally important. Addressing the trauma experienced by millions, fostering reconciliation between communities and rebuilding trust will be crucial for lasting peace. The international community must stand ready to support Ukraine in this endeavor, providing not only financial assistance but also expertise in areas such as trauma healing, transitional justice, and economic development. Section 8. Awaiting the dawn, the world holds its breath. As the diplomatic efforts continue, the world watches with a mix of hope and trepidation. The stakes are incredibly high, and the outcome remains uncertain. The recent developments, while fragile, represent a glimmer of possibility in a long and brutal conflict. The international community must seize this opportunity, supporting the peace process and urging all parties to choose dialogue over violence. The road to peace will be long and arduous, but the alternative, continued bloodshed and suffering, is simply unacceptable. Section 9. The power of hope, a plea for peace in our time. In these uncertain times, it is easy to succumb to despair. The images of destruction and suffering emanating from Ukraine can be overwhelming. Yet amidst the darkness, we must cling to hope. Hope that diplomacy will prevail. Hope that reason will triumph over violence. Hope that peace will return to Ukraine, and that the world will learn from the mistakes that led to this tragic conflict. Let us not allow cynicism to extinguish the flame of hope. Let us raise our voices in unison, demanding an end to the bloodshed and a future where peace and cooperation prevail. The fate of Ukraine, and indeed the world, may depend on it.